Hey everybody, Mr. Kirkwald back here. So we're going to get into our last subject of the year today, which is all about light. So we've talked about light waves a little bit. Today what we're going to focus on is the electromagnetic spectrum, which is essentially just a really fancy word for all the different kinds of light waves. So we're going to fill in a couple of things here on slide 1 and slide 2. So obviously if you went in, you saw the light notes, and then we've done this before, so you'll see the video that you're looking at now. Light notes are there. And then we're just going to kind of move back and forth here. So first thing I want to do is I want to look at the wavelengths here. So we can see that as these transverse waves get shorter and shorter and shorter, we're going to have different names for the different parts of this spectrum. So first off, let's go through frequency here. So your frequency here is going to be really low. And then your frequency over here is actually going to be really high. So we have a high frequency wave, lots of waves coming in right in the middle. Down here, we have a really long wavelength. Oops. Come on. There we go. We have a really long wavelength here, and then we have a short wavelength over here. So we've got high frequency waves over on this end of the spectrum and low frequency waves over here on this end of the spectrum. So what we're going to do is we're going to name the different parts of the spectrum here. So actually the lowest frequency waves that we use are radio waves. So when you're listening to KDWB or a different radio station, that uses radio waves. And so those waves have a really long frequency. After radio waves, we have microwaves. So microwaves, just like your microwave oven that uses those kinds of waves in order to make your food or heat it up, it kind of interacts with the molecules and gets those going. So microwaves are there. Then just, where did it go? Oh, here we go. Infrared waves. So infrared waves are the waves that they use to keep food hot. So these are waves that we can't see, but they are just below that visible light. So sometimes you might see a red glow from those lights, like if you're at McDonald's or when you used to go to different, like Old Country Buffet or something like that, you would see a kind of a red light. And that's because in our visible light spectrum here, red light is actually has the longest wavelength. So red light is actually the one that we can see the or it's just right on the edge of what we can see. So the easiest way to remember this up here for all the different colors that we can see is Roy G. Biv. So we have red, Roy, orange, yellow, G, green, and then Biv, B, I, indigo, and V for violet. So as we're looking at visible light, red has the longest wavelength, and then violet has the shortest wavelength or frequency. So violet is getting up into our next part of the electromagnetic spectrum, which is the ultraviolet waves. So we can't see these ones either, but these are the ones that you get that the sun comes down and you get ultraviolet UV protection on your skin because the ultraviolet rays are coming down and you'll get a sunburn that way. So ultraviolet is just above our visible spectrum here. And then after that we have X-rays. Now you'll notice that as the frequency is getting shorter, that these kinds of things are going to start hurting us more. So X-rays, there's a reason that you have to put lead around everything else because when you're getting an X-ray, because we don't want the X-rays to go anywhere else in your body because we just want them to be in your body for the least amount of time possible. And then we get up to gamma rays. Gamma waves are actually super dangerous. They're used a little bit in um, radiation treatments for cancer patients and stuff like that, but those ones are really bad for you if you have a lot of exposure to them. So we see radio waves that are common floating all the way through, and then as that frequency gets shorter, they become a little bit more and more dangerous. And then the visible light, this is just the stuff that we can see, just comes and falls pretty much right in the middle. And then all the different colors that we can see there. So that's that one. And then for this, I just like to have just the waves in one. So what we're going to do is we're just going to quick go through this and see if you can do it without me. But our radio waves are our longest wavelength. Okay, this is just repeating for us so that we can kind of think about it a little bit more. We've got microwaves, infrared, oops, microwaves. Come on, microwaves, what are you doing? Ah, there we go. Microwaves are infrared waves. Visible light goes right in the middle. And then ultraviolet, because remember, violet light has the least, or has the shortest wavelength. So ultraviolet, X-rays, and then last but not least, gamma rays. So if you've got that down, then next week when we're doing a little bit of a reading assignment, that'll go a lot better. This third slide here, this we're going to use on Monday of next week. This is going to be part 2 of our notes. We're going to be doing a little bit of reading in the book and then filling this in. So just be ready for that, and I will see you guys then. Have a good day. Bye.